All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week. So thank you for watching and coming to hang out with us for Friday Fat Chat. I am Ivy Felicia, the body relationship coach, and I am the founder of Fat Women of Color. And Friday, hey Renee, Friday Fat Chat is a show that we have had now for almost a year. It is our chance to amplify the voices of Black and Brown women of size, and we also give Black and Brown women of size the platform to share about their businesses, their brands, their stories, their experiences. So that is the intention behind Friday Fat Chat. Fat Women of Color is about 3 years old. We started out on Instagram and we grew to a private community shortly after that. And then we started having live events in 2018. And so now we actually have a membership community. We have an Instagram, we have a Facebook, we have digital events thanks to the pandemic. So we have lots of awesome things happening for Black and Brown women of size. So this month, and actually last month, our theme has been the power of pleasure. And so we picked that theme because we felt like, Black and Brown women of size, oftentimes we put our pleasure off, right? It kind of comes after everything else and everyone else. And we maybe fit it in where we can get it in, but it's not necessarily always a priority. And so we wanted to focus on it so that we can encourage Black and Brown women of size to start prioritizing your pleasure, putting your pleasure first and understanding how the power of pleasure impacts our holistic well-being. That means our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. And so for the past month and a half, we've had some awesome guests come on to Friday Fat Chat to teach us, to give us insight, to give us tools and tips. And so we are continuing with that theme today. And we have an amazing guest that I'm really excited to share with you all. She's going to be with us today. And then she's also with us tomorrow for a private session. So I don't want to take up any more time. I'm going to go ahead and bring on Goody Howard.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for being here. We started planning this like months ago, so it feels like we've been counting down to this for a while.
Yes. I'm excited to be here, though. We got it together.
Yes, yes. So if you are watching and you are a family member, friend, follower, or fan of Goody Howard, definitely drop some love in the chat. We can see every single comment that you put in the chat. So, we want to keep the love flowing. If you have questions, you can share that in the chat as well, and we'll pull those a little later in the show during Q&A. And also, if you have comments, if you have a yes, I'm feeling that, or I'm not sure about that, or even an AFEM, as Yesenia taught us last week. We don't say amen, we say AFEM over here for Fat Women of Color because we're censoring our women over here. So we say AFEM. If you have an AFEM, drop an AFEM in the comments, okay? So let's get started. First of all, Goody, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, introduce yourself, tell us what you do, and like, what's your vibe?
Okay, well, first and foremost, I need y'all to show. You gotta see my shirt. You need to get into it. Just briefly. Okay. So my name is Goody Howard. I'm a sexologist, educator, and consultant. And I have been doing this 15 plus years at this point. I am a pleasure professional. I'm a dildo dealer, but I also teach comprehensive sex education throughout the lifespan. I do like pleasure stuff. So I teach dick riding class, blowjob class, pussy eating class, squirting and orgasm workshop, yoni yoga, strip tease, all the fun stuff, all the pleasure centered, yummy stuff, right? And then I also do the button down conservative academic stuff. So I do professional development for educators, counselors, therapists, healthcare professionals, just around navigating LGBTQIA clients, fat clients, sex positive response to different things you encounter in your professional spaces and all of that stuff as well. I sell sex toys and everything, all of that. So I'm very sex positive in that way. And like I said, I've been doing this 15 plus years. So I'm excited to be here because as a fat woman of color, right, I'm excited for this platform. I'm excited that it exists. And when I saw the email and it was like fat woman, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in. Whatever it is, whatever you need me to do, I'm gonna do it. So yeah, I'm just excited to be here and just participate with you guys on this platform.
And can you show us your shirt again? I think you froze earlier, so we didn't get to see it on the show.
I can't do it too low because I ain't got no pants on.
Yes. And hey, we're here for the no pants too. I love it.
This is from Kimbrative. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Kimbrative on Instagram. Black women deserve great sex.
Yes.
I thought it was appropriate.
Yes. Thank you so much for that.
Yes, and ain't no crying at the pink. No crying at the pink.
I love it. Okay, we already have Goody fans that are in the chat.
That's Goody gang. What's up, Goody gang?
We have Jonah Nanette. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. She says, Goody. I learned about her from Kev on Stage. Yes, I saw your Kev on Stage interview as well. That was packed full of goodness. In between the laughs with Kev.
I put Melissa first. I love me some Melissa and Kev.
I love it. You put her first. Yes, the Black women coming first. Yes. And we're gonna talk about that too, right?
Yes, we are.
So also Tina says yes, love me some Goody. And we also have Freaky Diva Goddess, which is Ms. K. Ms. K joins us regularly on the show. And she says yes. And then Renee says, am I the only one wearing pants on calls? Yeah, yep. You're the only one. Yep. You're the only one.
Pants are optional as hell.
I'm gonna try this freedom out. Yes, try it out. Like, let it breathe. That's all I have to say. Especially if you have those thighs, like a lot of women in size do, that are together. We need that air to flow whenever we can get it out. I'm
gonna say this is actually my bed. This is my headboard. So I'm in my bed. It. Like, you have the body. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I had a car accident a couple weeks ago. My back still ain't best. So I'm in my, I got pillows behind me. Headboard looks like some office type shit.
I love it because, like, even this goes with our conversation, right? Which is prioritizing like what we need to feel good. And that, I love how you're like incorporating that into like all the time. Like, it's not just a sometimes thing.
No, it's 24-hour lifestyle. No.
And so can you tell us, like, how did you get into, this lifestyle of centering pleasure and helping, people find their pleasure, they're becoming comfortable with sex, being empowered when it comes to sex?
I think it's always been in the way I was raised. I was raised to question everything and to enjoy things in life. And I think that even in coming into this type of work, because I used to do accounting. I used to do accounting during the day. And I would do this in the evenings. And then I just decided to do it full time. But I'm a very sensual person. So I live with my senses every day, all day. And when you live sensually, you're experiencing non-sexual pleasure through all 5 of your senses. So sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, right? And so when you live sensually, you learn to experience non-sexual pleasure. You learn to sit in enjoyment and sit with pleasure in a non-sexual way, so that when you do get sexual, right, then you're experiencing pleasure, sexual pleasure through all 5 of your senses. And who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
And when that's the case, you do start to savor the moments, and you do start to honor your body more and listen to what your body is telling you that you need. And I will say this, that learning this process and existing in this way is a lifelong journey. It's not like you have one aha moment and your life has just changed. It's a constant unlearning. I recognize things all the time, and I'm like, well, why do I do this? Like, I recently just changed my toothpaste because I hated it, but I just was, it's the one we always use. And I was like, I don't even like how this tastes. Let me find a different toothpaste. It's something as simple as that. Because the things that we do on a daily basis, that is how we get our pleasure scripts. Yeah. That is what writes what we decide pleasure looks like in non-sexual and sexual ways. And if we can't even honor our non-sexual pleasure, What the fuck? What hope do we have when it comes to sex? Thinking about what that looks like, right?
Yes, I love it because a lot of times what I'm hearing you say is that you're constantly cultivating that pleasure,
Yes.
constantly cultivating that sensual energy. And a lot of times we try to jump from like 0 to 100, be like, oh, I'm doing all the things, I'm getting groceries, I'm cleaning the house, I'm with the, with the kids, I'm at work, whatever, serving in the community, doing all the things. And then it's like, okay, let me try to get with my partner and like turn this stuff on, and we can't figure out why we can't do it.
You can't turn it on with your partner. You can't turn it on with yourself. And
Yes.
even in those moments when you're running, when you run in the world, right? When you're letting that black girl magic, you're getting that hocus and that pocus, right?
Yes.
Even with all of that, there are ways to find little pieces of joy and little pieces of pleasure in that. If you're out in the community, it's voting time, y'all. Get out and vote. I'm in Texas. We are early voting right now. You can go to any polling place during early voting. You don't have to go to the one in your area. You can go to any of them. And even in something like that, it's a beautiful day outside. If you got to stand in line, enjoy the beautiful day. Enjoy the sun kissing your shoulders and your face and the gentle breeze across your mouth when you speak. Like, pick up the pieces of joy and the pieces of pleasure in everything that you do. Be a signing kind of bitch. You see what I'm saying? There's a positive element in everything that we do. We just have to find it. And it don't take much to make a happy person happy.
Yes, I love it because it seems like you're kind of staying in that flow, like you said, throughout the lifestyle, and then it just becomes a part of your energy.
Yes.
One of the things that I've found, and I can kind of share personally, and I think you talked about this a little bit too on Melissa and Kev's episode, is that a lot of us, I personally was sort of coded when it came to a lot of guilt and shame, particularly in connection with like religion and things like that, around sexual energy, sensuality, and in thinking that spirituality and sexuality are separate, but they're very close.
Oh,
honey, the same, right?
They are the same. So they are the same. So when you think about sensuality and sexuality and religion or spirituality, God created sensuality. God created sexuality. God created pleasure. Like my girl Brittany Broader Smith says, God made the clitoris, right? So if God created opportunities for pleasure in life, and again, I'm talking about non-sexual pleasure and sexual pleasure, the joys of existing. If God created those things, then God wants us to connect to those things. And it's not a shameful thing to do. But what happens is we get perspective, we get the tainting and the bastardization of the doctrines and things like that, that kind of challenges the way we naturally exist. And then we have to work against our nature to fit into this spiritual box that has been created by people that don't necessarily have the same scripts, because every body is different. And I also want to say, even to add layer to that, the guilt that comes with feeling pleasure or thinking that we deserve pleasure in a fat body. Right?
I had to come on so I can see my expression on that one.
You know what I'm saying? I knew I was coming. I was waiting. You see, I was waiting for the pause.
Yeah.
The guilt that we get about being like fat, right? Or being in bigger bodies, however you want to say it. Because I said, oh, as a fat girl, blah, blah, blah. I'm a fat girl, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you're beautiful, bitch. I didn't say I wasn't beautiful.
Yes.
Fat and beautiful exist at the same time. I'm exhibit A, exhibit B. You see what I'm saying? You see that on the screen? Don't do it to yourself, right? Yeah. But and people think, oh, you're so confident. How are you so confident? You wouldn't ask a skinny bitch that. And I say bitch lovingly. Everybody's a bitch to me, so I'm not.
No, you're good.
It's a thing. It's a term of endearment. But I mean, so to that end, we also have to come into the sensuality of the bodies that we're in. Right? We have to give grace to the bodies that we're in. And in the instance of being body positive and being a big girl that is body positive and still works out, I don't work out to lose weight. Okay, I work out because I love the way it makes me feel. I work out to feel stronger. I work out to gain flexibility, improve my stamina in and out of the bedroom. Come on, somebody. So it's not about the weight for me or any type of weight for me. It's about how it makes me. And so you can be body positive and love the body you have and still want to change it and make it work better for you.
Right.
And it has nothing to do with how big it is, because we conflate fat and health, right?
Yes.
Fat and health are not, they're mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have slim friends that can't run around the block, whereas my 5'5", 265-pound ass can.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So we conflate lots of things. And so as big people in this country, on the planet, we don't give ourselves space to experience pleasure because we
Yeah.
don't see, maybe we don't see the images of people that look like us experiencing pleasure. Or when we do, we're fetishized. It's not like regular everyday people. It's this hypersexual person, or this with the way we have to perform femininity,
Yes.
right? The way we have fat women to be acceptable or fat women to be attractive have to represent this hyper femininity. You know, we have to wear dresses and heels and faces full of makeup, and you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with any of that if that's how you feel beautiful.
Right.
But if that's not how you feel beautiful and you're just putting on this mask and putting on this costume to be accepted by who?
Yeah. If it's performative.
You know what I'm saying? If it's performative, if that's not who you are, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You're selling yourself short. Bring
Yeah.
you to the table, right? And I
Yeah.
think specifically for people in bigger bodies and women in bigger bodies, because if a big dude is fly and dress good and smell good, he's attractive.
Yeah.
He look like money,
Mm-hmm.
right? A big girl, it ain't like that for us, right?
Yeah.
So I don't even see I have two colleagues specifically that come to mind that specifically talk about fat pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
It's my girl Sonali, and she is the fat sex therapist, or a fat sex therapist on Instagram.
Yes,
And my girl
love
Bianca
her.
Loriano. I'm sorry, Dr. Bianca Loriano. Come on, Doctor.
Yes.
Bianca Loriano at she is Latina sexologist on Instagram.
She'll be
And
here
they
next week, actually, on Friday.
bomb,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
okay? Specifically talk about fatness and pleasure and what that looks like. So I'm not even like, I'm a baby on that form, because I've never even thought about a fatness and pleasure. I'm thinking about my pleasure.
Yeah.
I'm not Goody Howard. Like, I'll give you an example. I was in a pageant. I was in a plus pageant. I was Mrs. Dallas, Texas Plus America 2013, right? And I thought the pageant was going to be an opportunity for women of size, like to highlight dope ass big girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or big girls that happen to be dope. And it really wasn't that, but that's neither here nor there. We were walking in the MLK parade, and we're holding up the banner. We have our crowns and sashes, and we're waving and stuff. And the crowd was like, "Get it, big girl! Come on, mama! Get it, big mama! Work, girl!" You know, and they really thought they were being supportive. And it was really like, after it was over, I had to sit with that, and I was talking to my partner, and I was just like, my business cards don't say fat sexologist or Goody Howard plus yada yada. I'm just me. I'm just dope ass me.
Yeah.
Regardless of what size I am, I'm a dope bitch that just happens to be fat.
Right.
And so I had never branded myself that way. So and it made me confront the fact that other people do. And I'm just like, I'm just me, baby. I'm just fly ass me, child. And so to put myself in a box that other people were already putting me in that I hadn't even recognized. I mean, I know I'm a plus girl, but that's not an identity for me. That's a role.
Yeah.
And so having it become an identity was a culture shock for me, because it's just how the fuck I move through the world.
Yeah.
And so, like, being a black woman, I had a professor ask me, "Well, why did you write about being a black woman? Why didn't you just write about being a woman?"
Because I'm both.
Because I'm a black woman. I'm black before you ever you see that. I can't change, you know what I'm saying? So even in that text, in that context, when we talk about big bodies and pleasure and all of that, I'm moving through the world as Goody and pleasure. And so to add that, now I'm commenting on fat pleasure, because people don't see, you know, and I have friends like, "Oh, well, you know, when I think of fat, I don't think of you." But people that don't know me and love me see my fat ass and see a fat bitch.
Right.
So however you want to, that's just like telling me, "Oh, you're not black." Right? That's the same shit. And so we have to figure out what that looks like for us. And if you're not comfortable with saying that you're fat, or if you're not comfortable saying that you're in a bigger body or whatever, that's some separate shit that you can work on, because you don't have to be comfortable with that. We all show up different, and we can't dictate how other people show up in their bodies. But what I do want people to understand and receive and impress and get from this is that your size does not negate your right to pleasure. Your right
Can you
to
please
love.
say that again? Say it
your
again for the
size,
people in the
your
back.
body, fat, skinny, tall, short, amputee, differently able, disabled, any of that, right? It does not negate your birth to love, pleasure, to, you are worthy. It shouldn't. It doesn't. But what society tells us and what media tells us is that it does.
Yes.
And so we have to then be the representation. We are the media. We are the representation.
Yes. That's why we're creating our own media in our own spaces and our own platforms.
This is us, right?
Yes.
This is us. And so that's why I was so excited when I oh yeah, I'm in that shit. I'm in there because we don't see it. And if we don't see it, how can we then empower and inspire other women that are struggling like we were? We weren't always these bold, beautiful, we weren't always walking in this truth in this way.
Absolutely.
And so I want to make sure that people that aren't here yet see it, receive it, own it, recognize it. It resonates. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Big girls, we can get on, so we can ride. We can ride dick. We can masturbate. We can do all these things. Sex toys are assistive tech. If you can't reach your pussy because your stomach in your way, baby, get you a wand.
Yeah.
Get you. You know what I'm saying? Like there are things that we can do to reach it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't have pleasure because of the body that you live in.
Yes. Hold on 1 second. We've got like our watchers are like loving this, so I want to pull them in. Renee says, yes, respect the intersectionality of me as a whole person. I can't represent myself in pieces. I love that because like that's what we talk about as far as fat women of color. We consistently talk about intersections. Like we sit at multiple intersections. Of course, we talk about being women, being a person of size, and being, Black or brown. But there's other things, you could be chronically ill, you could be disabled, you could be LGBTQIA. Like there's so many things that can be a part of the intersection of your identity. And we don't have to deny any of our identity, right? In order to like truly honor who we are. Shay Monique says, loving this, glad I finally caught a fat chat. What an amazing conversation. I'm taking y'all in the shower with me. Okay, we're good.
Hey, girl. And you in the shower, like the shower. I talk about shadow showers all the time.
Yes, I love that.
Talk about like connecting to your body and loving your body that you're in and connecting to it, right? So living sensually is also, there are ways to live sensually every day. And so I talk about shadow showers all the time. And the shadow shower is taking a shower in your bathroom in the dark, door closed, no candles, no music, just you and the sound of the water, right? Because you know where everything is in your bathroom and everything is on your body. So then you have to touch yourself. You have to nourish and care for your body in a different way because you have to touch and make sure that part of the body doesn't have soap on it anymore, and make sure it's clean. And just, you have to kind of touch yourself differently, lovingly, gracefully, with care.
Yes.
Right. And then it's really cathartic because you just get the sound of the water. The acoustics in the bathroom are already amazing. So you have the sound of the water. You know what I'm saying? And just it's just kind of thing. And the day just washes away and you're starting over with this renewed connection to yourself.
I remember when I first heard you speak about that. And I was like, okay, I'm already on. I'm already in the right, because that was something that I like low light anyway. That's just me. Like I like, or mood lighting. Yeah, it's just,
and that's sensual. You're living sensually already, like you ahead of the game.
I'm a Scorpio, so know. But no. Anyway, I really, when I saw that, I was like, okay, and everything you were saying, it's like, yes, because like I'm smelling my soap or my body scrub. I'm feeling the warmth. I actually pay more attention to my skin. Like what, if I feel something unusual, like, okay, it feels kind of rough there, or something's there, or I got a new mole. I just notice those things more when I have the lights off. So I 99% of the time shower in the dark because it's just a more enjoyable shower for me, unless I need to like shave or something like that where I need to see what's going on.
But even shaving in the dark, like you have to feel where the hair is and then go back. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's still a very caring and nurturing situation because, and honestly, you probably shave. It'll probably be a cleaner shave because you have to feel where the hair is.
Okay, I'm gonna try it.
Just a suggestion.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna let you know how that goes.
Okay. Be careful. Go slow.
One thing I do want to we said that we would talk about today is you're a sex educator. That's something that you do. I'd love to talk about, like, because people, when they think about education, it's already a resistance because they think school or boring or whatever. But how does sex education help us actually embrace our pleasure, tap into the power of pleasure, because we're getting education and information?
Well, I think that when we're talking about sex education specifically, people think when I say I'm a sex educator, the folks to go, oh yeah, because these kids need to know when they kids. Fam, adults, grown-ups. There are grown-ups that don't know. Just they think people think because we're having sex that we know what we're doing. Or because we have kids, we know what we're doing. No, that just means you don't wear condoms. That doesn't mean that you know how to have or how to have pleasurable sex. We don't know how to connect. When we talk about sex ed, pleasure isn't really part of the conversation.
Right.
So when I'm like sex, health, and pleasure, and so we talk about like water consumption and how important it is for water and sexual function. Right? If you're not properly hydrated, like people ask me when I go on stuff, they offer me drinks. I'm like, no, alcohol makes your pussy dry. Because it does. Alcohol dries you out, right? But if you're properly hydrated and drinking enough water, if you have a vulva, when you get, when you're aroused, your pussy is wetter. Your clit gets bigger and plumper and firmer, so it's easier to orgasm. Come on, orgasm, right? If you're not a squirter, it's easier to become a squirter if you're properly hydrated. If you are a squirter, you'll squirt more. If you have a penis, it helps with stamina. It helps with erection quality. It helps with the texture of ejaculate, because the texture of ejaculate should be like spit, not snot. Come on, somebody. If it's too thick, if it's like snot, you're probably messing up the pH balances of the people that you're having sex with. All genitals have pH balances. Dicks, pussies, and assholes all have a pH balance. So no matter what kind of sex you're having, if your ejaculate is too thick, you're fucking up your partner's pH balance. Right? Also, if you're properly hydrated, your orgasms are stronger, because orgasms are muscle contractions. And when muscles are properly hydrated, they function at peak levels, and peak muscle function contracts harder. So this is a hydrated orgasm. This is an unhydrated orgasm. So if you're having sex that you enjoy now, that you feel like is bomb now, imagine if you started drinking half your body weight ounces in water a day.
I'm loving it.
You know what I'm saying? So even in just that little conversation, I talked about hydration. I talked about anatomy and physiology. I talked about pH balances of genitals, right? People don't, when they hear sex ed, they don't think about that kind of stuff, right? When I say sex ed, people with penises, when you masturbate with a condom on. When you masturbate with a condom on, you start to associate pleasure and condom use. You get real good at putting the condom on quickly, initially, and effectively. And it's quicker cleanup. So you don't have crunchy ass socks and napkins all over your room. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a gem right there. Like, that's a jewel. I have never heard that one. Like, that's a gem.
You see what I'm saying? It's all about using sex toys for pleasure. There are over 18 different kinds of orgasms. People don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Your nipples are connected to the same part of your brain as your genitals. So why aren't we doing more with that? Why aren't we playing with our nipples more?
Yeah.
If you have nipples, people with penises love nipple play, but they don't want to ask for it because nipples are feminized.
Right.
People with bigger bodies, fat bitches. Listen, when I tell you, fat people in general, we have great sex. Fat people be fucking.
Yeah.
And don't let your body or your perception of your body impact what you think you're capable of, or what kind of pleasure you think your body is capable of.
Yes. Can you go, and now as part of that, can we talk a little bit about, it's a couple of things there because my brain's like pew pew when you're talking. But I know you mentioned earlier sex toys, and last week we had Kim Bree Silas, and we were kind of talking about how sex toys are often short. And if you're a bigger person, you have to try to get over more body, and sometimes that can make it more complicated. Do you have any insight on that, or any tips on how to use sex toys that are actually a little bit easier for people of size? to access.
Absolutely. So one of the things, like I said, when I was talking about exercising and stuff earlier, flexibility is important. Flexibility is important just in general. But like I stretch every day. If you stretch every day, when it comes time for pleasure with a partner or pleasure by yourself, you're a little bit more flexible. You can put your knees up, you can lean back, you can reach around, and so you can reach the things that you need to get to experience pleasure. So even if you do have a shorter sex toy or something like that, you can still use it. A wand. The wand and the bullet are my two favorite sex toys, and the cock ring. But a wand, you can get a wand with an angle on it, or get a wand and get an attachment for the wand that has an angle on it. So you don't have to try to reach down and around. You just got to reach a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And there are different positions that you can masturbate in that will get you more access to your body. So you can like lean, like those position pillows, those wedges, or like I have lots of pillows behind my back right now. So you can lean back on pillows and it'll give you more access to your body. You can put your knees up. You know what I'm saying? I know you can see my knees. I ain't got no pants on. But you can put your knees up. You know what I'm saying? Have one leg up, one leg down. If you've taken my dick riding class, knee up, knee down is your friend. Knee up, knee down when masturbating. And so it just depends on the kind of masturbating you're doing. You can also get, like I said, sex toys are assistive tech. So for disabled folks, for bigger body folks, there are ways to use toys and ways to position your body to get the most pleasure from those experiences. And so even something like a suction cup dildo, you can put a suction cup dildo on the wall in the shower and just back up on that joint. You can put the toilet seat down and put the suction cup dildo on top of the toilet seat and then sit backwards on the toilet. And then when you sit backwards on the toilet, you can hold yourself up on the toilet. You know what I'm saying? And so it helps you with positioning your body and things like that. If you're an OG, you can back on the toilet regular and just, practice how you play. But there are so many aftermarket uses for common sex toys that we don't even think about. Yeah. Because they're not marketed in that way. And one of my favorite hobbies is figuring out aftermarket ways to use sex toys.
I love it. Do you have a class now? I know about, which we're going to talk about. I know about rheology. I know about lick. Now, do you have a class for this? If not, you should create it.
Well, so I don't yet, but I was thinking that as speaking this way. But I have lip service, which is a cunnilingus workshop. Okay. I have Thin Nudes, which is launching. I've been doing it, but I haven't done it online. So Thin Nudes is how to take pictures and nudes and videos of yourself, flattering angles, best angles, and all that, best practices, right? And that's good for pictures clothed and unclothed. And that'll be coming in November. I have butt stuff for beginners. I have Yoni Yoga, which again, talking about flexibility, and just flexibility is great just in general with clothes on, but flexibility really comes into play when we talk about fucking. So Yoni Yoga is a thing that I love to do, and we're going to be bringing that online as well. I'm actually coming to Houston to do some live events in November, so we're going to be doing one with my girl Amber Yoga that does aerial yoga. So we're going to be talking about how you can use the silks and the aerial silks and stuff for better positions for sex, for more comfortable positions for sex, especially if you have range of motion concerns, or if you have a bigger body, or if you have disabilities. The aerial ropes and stuff and the silks kind of take it to a different level and make it more comfortable for you. And you can actually buy a frame and silks from me or from Amber Yoga. We're going to have that worked out. So it's lots of different classes and workshops that I teach. I even teach sex and aging, sex and disability, sex and social work, sex and public health. I teach lots of different workshops around just shifting our frame of reference, just reframing we already think we know, and questioning it and approaching it differently so that we can empower ourselves and other people.
Yeah. So like, and hearing that, like, I'm just hearing like the more information you have, the better an experience you can have, whether it be, self-pleasure, partner pleasure, whatever, but that you can be more empowered just by having that information. It's like the old commercials, like the more you know. The more you know. We have some comments. I want to pull those in a little bit because, again, people are really loving this conversation. Renee says, I need a treasure chest for all of these gems. Yes. She's dropping jewels and dropping gems. If you're not following Goody, who on Instagram, definitely follow her on Ask Goody. And you can regularly get these gems and also find out more about her classes that she offers as well.
Yes.
Freaky Diva Goddess says the wedge is an awesome. I'm assuming that's supposed to be tool for sex and masturbation. And Leurique says I want to try aerial yoga for sex.
Yes, it's great for sex. It's great for oral sex, anal sex, P and B, all of it. It's really great because when we think about aerial, it takes the pressure off the knees, it takes the pressure off the back, it leverages your own body weight to kind of give you more. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited to share that with folks, and we're actually going to be recording it, and it'll be available online for replay for purchase, because I didn't want to just do it live and nobody else could benefit if they weren't in the room, because the pandemic is not over just because we're over it. So even like when I'm in Houston, it's a warehouse space. So when we do rhideology, y'all will be social distance. Y'all will be 6 feet apart. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even joking. Yeah. This is not a game.
What I love about this and hearing like all the ways that you have to adapt is that, again, going back to being people of size, being women of size, is that a lot of times, and we have this conversation, we have a membership community where we talk about stuff all day, every day. So we have these conversations. And a lot of times what comes up is that, we've picked up shame along the way because we kind of feel like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm not good at this, or my body can't do that. And so if we don't know these things, if we don't have the tools and we don't have the knowledge and insight, we'll be focused more on what we can't do. Instead of knowing what we can do.
And if we don't see people doing it, if we don't see people that look like us doing it, because representation is important, it's just going to reinforce the fact that we can't do it. Ain't nobody else doing it. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to get out of that. And we picked up shame. People put shame on us. In body positivity, a lot of people think that they're body positive and they don't realize that they do little shit that's anti-body positive, right? So like if you see somebody in an outfit and you don't feel like their body should be in that outfit, shut the fuck up. It's their body and their outfit. It's body negative to have commentary or reply, or to post pictures of people and say something nice. What if that was your loved one? What if that was your partner? What if that was your child? You'll be ready to take your earrings off. So quit doing that. It's all the things, all the lies people are doing now, all that, right? Putting your expectations or your assumptions or what you would do with your body and your clothing onto other people is sex negative, and it's body negative. We don't get to dictate how other people show up. We may not have made that style choice, but guess what? We didn't make that style choice. So there's no reason for you to have people think it's funny and shit like that. My thing is this: if you can't be funny without it being at the expense of someone else, are you really funny?
You're not funny, right?
You're not fucking funny, fam. And if it was your kid or your mama or your sister or your brother, you would be ready to fight. So if you're not going to, you know what I'm saying, be the change you want to see. People don't think, oh, it's just jokes. It's just people. I'm sure there are people making jokes about me because I have a big body and I'm teaching dick riding classes. I don't see them though, because y'all know who to try that shit with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. Even though Trey Songz says that's what you're supposed to do. It's like you don't get to be body positive and then shame other people's bodies. And it's not body shaming, it's not fat shaming. It is because it's not your body. Anybody that you have control over, that you get to make commentary on, is yours.
And a lot of times you don't realize how much that becomes internalized because you're so busy looking down on other people and talking. First of all, it usually comes from internalized fat phobia, which that's a whole other conversation, but continuing to have, comment and be so focused on other people's bodies, that reflects back on you, and it impedes your ability to have a peaceful relationship with your body and to tap into pleasure and all of that.
And that's no matter what size you are. If you're doing that to other people, you're projecting. And I think too, what we do is, like, if I wear a 20, right? I'm a size 20. And so people, oh, you don't wear a 20? Oh, yes, the fuck I do, because I need to be able to eat, breathe, and laugh in my clothes.
Right.
So if I see a sister that wears a size 30, then I say, oh, wow, she's this. She shouldn't wear that. She shouldn't, because I'm smaller than her. I'm still fat. but I'm smaller than her. So I feel better than her because I'm not as big as her. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with me. Right. And so I think that we internalize it. And then no matter what size we are, even slimmer people, straight size folk, they want, they make commentary about larger bodies and they think that they're doing it for their health. Oh, I care about your health. Well, you don't really, because you're making assumptions about my health based on my size. And like I said earlier, health and fat they're mutually exclusive. Right. So when you automatically assume that because I'm fat, I'm unhealthy. That is negative right there. That's body negativity right there. And I think that if you think about why you're doing something, it's more about control. It's more about projecting your own insecurities on other people. And so you have to check yourself. And there's a lot of self-evaluation, externalization that comes with starting a body positivity journey for yourself, right? No matter what size you are, body positivity is the entire spectrum of how body show up.
I love that.
And so we have to make space for that as well. And it's just like, you don't get to decide what my health is going to be like, or you care about my health. No, you're assuming that I'm unhealthy because my body is bigger than yours.
Right. Or you're assuming that I don't care about my health and I'm not already on top of that or taking care of that. Or you assume that even matters. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's not a priority for me right now, which is okay. For some people, it is a priority. For some people, it's not. But even health can become something that people use to shame.
Correct. Or they'll say, oh, your BMI or a healthy weight, right? When people say a healthy weight, that's still body is fat phobic, and it is body negative, because when you say a healthy weight based on what? A healthy weight based on the BMI scale?
Right.
Let's be clear. The BMI does not take into consideration mass or bone density. And it was created as a tool to measure the weight and fatness of a population, not an individual. Right? So we're applying this macro science in a micro way, and it's false at that point. It's invalid. So Science and Ho Shit, which is the name of my book that's coming out in February, Science and Ho Shit tells us that we can't apply all science to all bodies, because all science don't include all bodies. And it is ableist and privileged as fuck. And we don't realize how ableist we can be.
And that's coming from, she pulled that comment from my XXFly, which is Yesenia, who says that's ableist and privileged AF, which is as well.
It is. And we don't even realize, because all disabilities don't show up. You can't see all disabilities. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we have to make sure that we're making space for what we really care about. You don't care about my health. You just want to control me. You don't want to look at me. My fat body offends you. Think about that. Why does it offend you? Because I'm living my best life and you over here repressed and oppressed and repressed.
Recently, Chica, the rapper, I love Chica. We love Chica in our community. She recently commented, and she in an article, and she was just kind of talking about people always commenting on, plus size. I'm like, oh, and I think you talked about this a little bit earlier too. Oh, your confidence. And she was like, look, just stop talking about people's bodies, period. Like, just stop commenting on people's bodies. Like, don't comment on my body, their body, and I'm paraphrasing her, of course, but I feel like that is something that we can apply just overall, just leave other people's bodies alone. And I think that we could take that energy, and even in talking about, pleasure, take that energy and focus that energy on yourself and your relationship with your body and how can find more peace with the body that you live in, how you can enjoy life more, like you said, how you can pay attention to those silver lining moments in life. Because if you're so busy looking at other people, you're missing out on the silver lining, right? You're missing out on the good stuff. Yeah,
that's true. It's very, very true. And I think we don't even make space for that. We don't make space in general for other people to connect to themselves. We're so worried about what the next person is doing. And I think celebrity culture perpetuates that as well. But Chica, man, Chica has bars. And actually the first time I saw her she was like shared in my newsfeed, and she was rapping, and it was a close up, and all I saw was this beautiful skin and this amazing makeup game. And she was on mute. You got to push it for the sound to come on. And she was talking. I was like, I don't even know what she's saying. I just want to watch her. I just want to watch her talk.
Like, that's her energy.
And I was like, she's spending for the pay. Like, I am loving hip hop. Right? Like, I even had look at my little. I am loving hip hop. Okay, like, this is me. Like, no, this is not a game. for me. So I was just like, this bitch got bar. I was in love immediately. I was like, oh my God, she's everything. And now I'm love that she's getting her shine now. She's getting what she deserves now. And so there are other little girls that are watching her that are like, I can do it too. Like, that representation is so powerful.
Yeah. And a lot of us didn't have that, in growing up. And I kind of want to segue a little bit with that in talking about how not having that representation, right? Not seeing, big girls, plus size girls, fat women in a position of power, in being adored, being desired. It's not something that most of us who are, maybe 35 and over. So, or even, we don't even really see it now. We didn't really see it. We haven't seen it in our media. We haven't seen it in our timelines. We haven't seen it in books. We haven't seen it on TV. So that can impact how we feel about ourselves. And I'd love to kind of talk a little bit about how the lack of representation, this fat phobia, all of those things have become part of how a lot of women of size sort of feel about their body, and therefore don't feel empowered in when it comes to sex. And one of the things that you talk about and the classes that you teach is rideology. And one of the things is that a lot of big girls are afraid to get on top, right?
Yeah.
Because they think, whatever, we think I'm going to crush, I'm going to whatever. So can you talk a little bit about that and like how we can kind of tap into a space of empowerment and power when it comes to being a big girl on top?
I think the biggest thing that we have to understand about getting on top is that you're not going to crush your partner, specifically when you're in a sexual act, because when you're aroused, your body becomes stronger. Those endorphins and that oxytocin and all those things start to flow. So it's just like when you have adrenaline, like how when a mom's kid is under a car and they get adrenaline, they can flip the car over. Part of being aroused is a super strength of sorts. And so you and your partner both are going to experience, you're not going to crush them. And if they die, they die. But no, I'm just saying. So, but like, you have to understand that. And then when we think about riding dick, specifically, be it riding dick with a pussy, be it riding dick with an ass, right? We think of, right? That's not the kind of dick riding I teach. I teach dick riding like this, right? You are stroking your partner's dick with your body. We're not doing this. We doing this. Now, some of y'all not gonna be old enough to get this this reference, but there's a Ronnie way and there's a Diamond way. And they're both dope as shit. And they can't exist in the same space at the same time. But what happens is media tells us dick riding look like this. I'm telling you it can look like this. And the way I teach it, I teach you how to use angles and rhythm and body weight and leverage to create a new type of layered pleasure for yourself and your partner that has that happens and occurs completely independent of how big your body is. It doesn't matter how big your body is, how big your partner's body is, how big their dick is. I give you body mods for all of it. If you have bad knees, bad back, whatever, hips, wrists, all of it. Okay? So what we're talking about riding dick, we just think Meg Stallion knees, right? Bionic knees, right? You don't have to have bionic knees to ride dick and ride dick well. Okay? And it doesn't matter what size you are, even how big your partner is, because like me and my partner are both fat people. We're both big body people. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how big your partner's dick is. I give modifications for larger dicks, smaller dicks, thinner dicks, thicker dicks, intact and circumcised. None of it matters. The moves that we go over are good for different body types and different positions. Now, there are some mods, like if you are in a wheelchair or something like that, there may be some mods that are difficult. But for the most part, I've really tried to be mindful of the ways that different bodies show up. And so we start with a warm up. This is an erotic fitness class. We are going to do hip opening exercises, and we're going to get that blood pumping before we even do this. And then after it's over, you guys will get the replay. You get the replay for 30 days. You get there's a feedback form that I like to send out just because I like to see how your experience of the workshop went and what your feedback is. And then Jessamine has she's an amazing plus yoga instructor, and she has a great hip opening routine. And so you get the link to that on YouTube as well, because I want y'all to see big girls doing it. Now, not only big women are taking my class, but even the little girls need to see a big girl doing it.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
I had to come back on the screen. I came back just in time so you could see the face, the stank face on that one. Yes. Like, it's not, and that's the thing, like when it comes to fat positivity, fat acceptance, fat visibility, it's not just for fat people. Like, this is for everyone. Like, everybody needs to see fat people in a position of power.
The phrase fat acceptance tell you it ain't for fat people. Accepted by who?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's so, and I have a love-hate relationship with all those movements, because I could accept who?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we're asking, and I correlate these are not the same things, but my lived experience as a fat Black woman gives me it. I see these correlations in my everyday life. Mm-hmm. So even like with Black, I fully support Black Lives Matter, but I have a love-hate relationship with the phrase, because it matter to whom? We're asking these motherfuckers to let our lives matter. I'm not here for that. Yeah, I understand the concept, but to whom?
Yeah,
that acceptance for whom?
Yeah, because it's centering a certain people or a certain population.
It's don't kill us, please. We're human too. Like,
that's another reason that, like, I don't use plus size, is because it's like, well, this is in addition to, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's a normal and then there's plus. Like,
that plus size is diversity and inclusion. And so I say that, like, my girl, oh my God, Cindy Lee Alves, also a fat girl who is doing sexology work. Cindy Lee says language is alive. And I say language is alive. It lives in people and on people, right? And so when we say plus size, that's some diversity and inclusion language. And when I think diversity and inclusion, I think including into a mainstream culture as if we were not already there. So I say natural variance. That's how it naturally occurs. If you pull 10 women off the street, most of them will be bigger than a 14.
Yes.
Bigger than a 12.
Yes.
Right? And so it's the natural variance of how we show up. It's not a plus size. We don't need diversity or inclusion. This is the natural variance that occurs in nature.
Yes.
So I don't even use D and I when I say things and when I do things, because we need that shift to natural variance. Right? And so language, I love language. That's why I cuss a lot, because the syllables feel good in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? That's why I cuss a lot, because I'm very orally fixated. And I think that we have to understand how powerful the words that we use are. So like you said, plus size, that's some D&I shit, right? It's not plus size. And even like when people ask me, like I get people that want to send me t-shirts and stuff like that, because I take pictures and shirts and I'll put them in my stories and I'll link the shirt so people can swipe up and buy the shirt. I don't get discount codes for that. I don't get kickbacks for that. I do it because if the shirt is dope, I want people to have it, right? People will send me their shirts for me to take pictures in. I wear an extra large just because I used to think I wore a 3X, but that made me bigger. Like extra. Yeah. I thought I couldn't wear extra large until this lady told me, I'm not selling you a 3X. Try this extra large on. And it fits so cute. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do that. Right. And so I was like, okay, you have an extra large for me, but do you have 3X? Do you have 4X? So if you can't accommodate the people that look like me, I can't wear your fucking shirt. And I'm not going to. Yeah. I'm not going to take a picture in it. I'll give it to my daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody will take a picture in it, but if you can't accommodate the spectrum, the natural variance of how people show up in this world.
I'm loving it. Natural variance is definitely going into my vocabulary. I'm going to definitely tag you on that. But it's definitely going into my vocabulary.
Yes. Okay, so women, like Goody said, natural variance.
We have so many people. They're excited in the comments. Takwa says, y'all have no idea how y'all just made my day. I love that this is giving y'all good vibes and making y'all feel good and making you feel empowered. That's awesome. Layurique says, damn, I can't wait until tomorrow. And what she's talking about is that we have a class with Goody tomorrow. We're doing rhinology in the Fat Women of Color community. So this is specifically for Black and brown women of size. She's going to be over there with us personally, giving us some big girl tips on rhinology.
But don't worry though. Don't worry, Taco, because rhinology is coming.
Yes.
I'm actually,
Yes, she said she's gonna miss the class, so it's coming back later.
yeah, it's coming back. The Goody Gang is what I call my email list, right? So the Goody Gang, when I drop new classes, new T-shirts, new products, new sex toys, anything, information, all of that, the Goody Gang gets it 24 hours before the rest of the world. Because what happens is my classes sell out in like 48 hours. Right? So the Goody Gang gets the announcement and they sit with it for 24 hours so they can buy their tickets, get their coin, whatever they're going to do. And then I put it on Instagram and the website and YouTube and all the places, right? So this weekend, because the Goody Gang is going to get it tomorrow. So Sunday evening, Monday morning-ish, I'm going to be dropping when all of the classes are for the rest of the year for Q4. So it's beginning to look a lot like Lickmas. You know what I'm saying? We got the lit classes coming. I'm doing at least 2 rhinology classes and 2 lit classes between now and the end of the year. So I'm not going to give you the dates because they're going to be announced in the Goody Gang first, and then they're going to be announced online. But if you're in the Houston area, November 13th and 14th, I'll be in Houston doing them live. So those will go up this weekend, I think.
And how do they become a part of the Goody Gang?
So follow me on Instagram. I'm Ask Goody, AskGoody, on Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, Pinterest, LinkedIn, YouTube, all the places, right? And then there's a link in my bio that you can click and it'll say join the Goody Gang, or you can just go to askgoody.com and click join the Goody Gang. And that's how you join the Goody Gang, right? But you can check in on the website. There are replays available for sale right now of the classes of the lip service class, the lit class, and the rhinology workshop. There are replays available right now. But if you want to do the real-time Zoom where you get to interact with me and ask questions, those are coming up in October and November.
Okay, so you all heard how you can get the goods, how you can get in on the class, get in on the Goody Gang, and get this good teaching. Definitely, hey, we have you coming for rhinology, but I definitely look forward to having you come for other classes in the future if
Absolutely.
We can put that together.
Yeah, because there's a squirting and orgasm one that I love to teach because we talk about the 18 different kinds of orgasms and how to achieve them with and without a partner and with and without a sex toy. So I think that was a big one. And the send nudes on how to take, because I love, I tell people this, and I'm an award-winning photographer. Like I used to take pictures back in the day. I'm a little older than some of y'all, but I think composition of picture, I think the way you take the picture, the angle, and all those things, I think that just adds to the sensuality of the picture. So a nude ain't got to have money shots. You know what I'm saying? A nude could be like, I have a tattoo right here, right? So a nude could be just like a capture of like my lips and my tattoo, like my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? It could just be an implied nude, like from here up. Like, it could be so many different things. And so we have to broaden our idea of what a nude looks like and then how we show up in nudes.
Yeah.
Right? Sexy pictures are sexy pictures, regardless of if you're nude in them or not.
What I love, like what I'm hearing about from this full conversation, is really putting women, Black and brown women of size, into a position of power, right? And whether that's how you're being shown in your photographs, how you're being portrayed in a way that feels good for you, not just in a way that's performative to thinking of the male gaze or the external gaze.
If you even like men, come on.
Right. That's why I said, or the external gaze, whatever the external gaze is, but like what makes you feel expressed, whether it be that, whether it be getting on top, whether it be, tapping into that lifestyle that you've talked about constantly cultivating pleasure and looking for the sensual lining. I love just hearing and having this conversation with you about like how we can be empowered and move out of the space, because a lot of times we've been taught that it's about us trying to get someone or please someone or perform for someone, but this is really about centering us and our needs.
Yeah. And I think too, and I think the reason it lands like that, not even because this is a fat chat right now, but I think it lands like that because I'm a fat Black woman. So by me doing this work as a fat Black girl, you're going to see fatness and Blackness and womanhood being powered. People assume I'm straight all the time because I can pass. I'm married to a man. My life partner is a man. Right? but I'm not straight
Mm-hmm.
at all. You know what I'm saying? But people make assumptions because of how I show up. And I'm not
Yeah.
even like a girly girl. I'm not even like, when you logged into the thing, I was like, oh, her makeup is so pretty. Child, if you see me in makeup, it was applied by a professional. I don't know how to I don't know how to do it. But like, so I'm not even a girly girl. I'm feminine, but I'm not even a girly girl. But like me doing this, looking like I look, people automatically saying, oh, Goody has such a body positive dick riding class. It's only body positive because my fat ass
Yes,
doing
because
it.
of big girls doing it. Anytime we do something, it's body positive. Why can't we just do stuff without it being body
Automatically.
positive?
And everybody that's big ain't body positive. Everybody that's big that's living their best life is not body positive. There are people that
Yes.
have disordered eating. They have, workout, I have a friend that we were talking the other day and she was saying she hates working out. And she said every time she starts, she stops. And I said, you hate working out because you're framing it for weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
You frame working out too because it feels good. Because you feel good, you move better, you sleep better, you have
Mm-hmm.
more stamina when you fucking, you
Mm-hmm.
have more flexibility. If you reframe it, you'll enjoy it, and it won't be
Yeah.
like something that you have to do so you can lose weight, so you can do whatever the fuck losing weight would mean to you in your life. So just because you're fat don't mean you body positive. Just because
Right.
you're fat and living your life and doing your thing and operating in your field and you're a thought leader in your category or whatever the case may be, it doesn't mean that you're body positive. But people put that on us because we're big girls doing what big girls do.
Just showing up. Just showing up.
Men.
Right. We're just showing up. That doesn't mean that.
We don't,
And
but we don't
again, this was
show up.
in, I'm going to send you the article from Chica,
Mhm.
but this was in
Oh, I
Chica's
have it because I
article.
shared it in my stories.
Okay. So, this is not me that suddenly I'm like your therapist to help you with your, confidence and your body positivity and all of those things. Like, it just means that I'm showing up. And it is different for me because that is my job. That's what I do. But just for every fat girl who shows up and just is like living her life or feeling good in an outfit or shining or glowing, that doesn't mean like, oh, okay. Like
Right,
she's
come on,
not
big
doing
girl.
it with the message.
It was a little slim chick. I was at my office downtown yesterday. And this little slim girl walking down the street, baby, and she was serving the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I rolled my window. I said, "Bitch, you better serve these people what they want. It don't matter what size you are. If you killing it, baby, you killing it." And this little slim girl, baby, and she was giving it to him walking across the street. Okay, and I think that it's like when you're the only black girl at your job, or you're the black man at your job. You are suddenly the representation for your demographic.
For everybody.
And that's if you're the only fat girl at your job, or you the only fat friend. There was a time in my life when I was the only fat friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I was never the friend. Sometimes how you see on TV, when fat women are in a group, we're always the comic relief, right? We're over sexualized.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm fat and funny, people definitely get that from me. But like people, the fat friend, when y'all go to the club, you watching the purses while everybody else dancing and getting hollered at. And I'm not that bitch.
Right.
And all my friends, like I'm so grateful that I have amazing fat friends now too, because I had to, again, you don't realize until you realize, right?
Yep.
And so all my friends were smaller than me.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. And I think part of that was me projecting on how I felt like other fat girls showed up, and they had a shame and a stigma that you could see, and I was like, I ain't doing that because that ain't me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I all my friends were smaller than me, so we go to the club, baby. I got on shorts and fishnets and heels too, and I'm not gonna watch the purses, bitch, because I'm gonna be on the dance floor. You shouldn't have brought a purse if you wanted me to watch it. That's
right.
Stolen.
That's not my job here.
Your purse is gonna get stolen fucking with me. I'm gonna be on the dance floor. So and so I didn't even realize that I did not have it. I would go back and look at pictures, and all my friends are little, and I'm in the back like, or in the front, like, you know what I'm saying? So
I love it.
I had to make a shift though, because I was like, why don't I have any fat friends?
And
it was because the fat friends, the people that I did know that were fat, didn't move like me. They were still shrouded in that stigma and that shame and it didn't resonate with me, and I didn't like how it made me feel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I have been so blessed, and I'm so grateful that I have amazing big bitch homegirls. I got big friends, little friends, and it's amazing to me because we all nourish each other differently. We all support each other in amazing ways. And
the natural variance.
Now my friend group represent the natural variance.
Yes, I love it. We have a question for you, Goody. Tina says, Goody, is there a way to adapt riding your partner if you can't be on your knees for more than 5 minutes comfortably.
Yeah, so we talked about this earlier, and Tina, I love Tina. I know her. Hey, girl. Yeah, there's definitely ways that you can adapt that. And like in my workshop, we don't use the knees. We use the rocking motion. We use angles, use leverage. Again, science and whole shit, right? We're using centrifugal force. We're using simple machines. We're using inclines and flat planes. Physics. You know what I'm saying? So there are lots of ways to do that. So I would say the first thing to do is just kind of figure out how you want to ride. So even getting in a chair or getting on the couch, sit your partner on the couch and then get on top of them on the couch and put your feet in the couch. Feet in the couch, hands on the back of the couch. So now you can hold on to the back of the couch.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to bounce up and down and use your knees. You can hit a J and move forward and squeeze, and using your Kegel muscles to stroke your partner's dick while you're riding instead of trying to slam up and down on the dick. But Tina, we'll talk about it because this is all in the class and I can't be giving it up for free. That's how I make it.
I was thinking that. I was like, okay, y'all not gonna get all the jewels. Y'all gotta pay that ticket. To get
I have too much to pay for. So y'all student loans are real.
Bring the money. So before we wrap up, we have a few more comments. Leorique says this conversation is fire. Freaky Diva Goddess says exactly. I hate it when people assume I'm straight too and I'm bi. Okay, yes. Our drum goal says tech challenge, but just join Goody Gang in a few clicks. So she's already signed up and good to go. Good to go. Mrs. M.R. Thomas says, love this conversation and love you, sis Goody. And Tina's already signing up for the class, signing up for the Goody Gang, all of that. Everybody's excited to get in on the good stuff. So thank you so much for being here. Before we go, I'd love to hear if you have any takeaways that you want to give to any watchers, any final tips, any insight that you want to share.
I just want to say, like what I said earlier, don't think that your body and the size of your body is a negative aspect of your right to pleasure. Don't assume that you can't do stuff because of the size of your body. Don't assume that don't nobody want you because of the size of your body. If you have a partner, don't assume that you got to lose weight or anything. They came at you like that, sis.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Don't assume that you have to change your body to get love, to get pleasure, to get any of those things. And it's absolutely possible to love the body you have and want to change it. And I want to say we can reframe exercising from a health perspective to a pleasure perspective. Reframe exercise from health, perceived health, to pleasure. How it makes you feel, how much energy you have, how good you sleep at night, how much more stamina you have when you have sex with yourself or with someone else or other people, partner or partners, right? Come on, poly poke, trap, threesome folk, right? And how you can stretch and feel stronger and just stretch the body that you have in different ways. You know what I'm saying? I implore us to take up more space.
Yes.
You are not a fat dope girl. You're a dope girl that's fat, and that's different.
Hey, yes. Yes. I would have hit a key, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to.
Dun, 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 dun.
If I didn't have to stay attached to me, I probably would have done a quick run.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. That was it right there. That was the wrap up. Thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you, Goody, for being here. If you are just popping in, you can catch the replay on YouTube. It's going to be here. Definitely, if you enjoyed this and you tuned into the show and you were in the chat and all of that, go tell your friends, your big friends, little friends,
all your friends.
Tell everybody that, that they need to get this knowledge and get this insight and get this wisdom, because so many gems were dropped here. Definitely make sure that you follow Fat One of Color on Instagram so you can stay tuned into what we have coming up and what's going on with us. Also, make sure that you follow Goody. She's under Ask Goody on Instagram and at askgoody.com. You can find us on fatwomenofcolor.com. Also, if you missed like Goody was saying earlier, if you missed the rhinology class with us, she's got that coming up again and all other kind of classes. So definitely go to askgoody.com so you can get in on this knowledge. We have Tina says, thank you. This was fantastic. Shay says, this was awesome. So many snaps. So thank you all. I'm glad that you all enjoyed it and enjoyed hanging out with us. And again, Goody, thank you so much for being here. Anything else you want to say before we go?
No, thank you for having me. And for those of y'all that I'm gonna see tomorrow,
yeah, we're gonna have fun.
Everybody else, sign up for the stuff. We'll get it together.
Absolutely. So thank you again for being on Friday Fat Chat, Goody, and thank you everyone for watching.